Moving on, we shall look into the next hot topic. What are the causes of food insecurity? So there are five factors that lead to the food insecurity. So number one, due to the population growth. So for example, like in Africa, Africa is expected to double its population from 1 to 2 billion by 2050. So the populations in the developing world are also becoming increasingly urbanized, with 2.5 billion additional urban residents projected in Africa and also Asia, which is include ourselves lah, Malaysia. So kalau you tengok dekat dalam the bar graph, the projected population growth in billions, you can compare. The yellow is the population in 2012 and the red is indicates population growth from 2012 to 2050. So kalau you tengok Asia makin meningkat lah. Okay, number two, due to the changing taste ataupun kita kata trend, you punya taste bud tu dah bertukar. So not only is the population grow, but the diet is changing too. Sekarang pun dah ramai dah orang start became vegetarian and also became vegan. Ada beza vegan, vegetarian So as people become more affluent, they starting eating food that is richer in processed foods, meat and also dairy. So mungkin dekat Malaysia kalau tengok kalau you tengok lah kan trend-trend makanan daripada luar, makanan Korea, makanan Japan, makanan Italian food, and then makanan Mexican food. So this trend lah kita katakan, the changing taste of the people is also one of the factors that orang kata apa, that contribute towards the food security. Maksudnya apa? Maksudnya makin ramai lah orang suka makanan Korea, makin banyak lah food product from Korea has been imported. Kan, imported masuk ke dalam negara Malaysia. But to produce more meat means growing more grain. So kalau you tengok dekat situ, according to World Resources Institute, kalau you refer dekat table tu, the global consumption of meat and milk products. So basically ni untuk livestock sector lah kan. Kan kita tengok kat situ, livestock berapa daripada 2006 sampailah 2050. And also kat sebelah kanan tu beef and mutton 2006 and also 2050. Moving on, the next factor that cause the food security is due to climate change. So currently 40% of the world's landmass is arid, and rising temperatures will turn yet more of it into desert. So at the current rates, the amount of food we are growing today will fill only half of the population by 2050. Sangat menakutkan So most studies now project adverse impacts on the crop yields due to the climate change. So maksudnya kita lebih 3% panas lah, suhu tu dah meningkat lah ke 3%. So kita pun tahu kan, dekat kita punya muka bumi ni 70% adalah daripada air dan lagi 30% adalah daripada darat. So disebabkan climate change, kita punya paras air laut semakin meningkat dan suhu kita pun semakin meningkat. Therefore, bila berlakunya this orang kata apa, this climate change, so kita punya tanaman-tanaman kan, kita punya tanaman akan jadi makin berkurangan lah, sebab mungkin the quality of the tanaman itself, cuaca tidak memberi, orang kata apa, tak berpihak kepada this agriculture sector untuk bangunkan tanaman mereka. Therefore we only able ataupun we only capable kan to grow our food for only half the population by the 2050. So yeah, it is something, we all need to take it seriously. So moving on, the number 4 factors, the fourth factor that cause the food security is due to the water scarcity. So this is another impending crisis, so which 28% of the agriculture lies in the water stressed regions. Betul. Biarlah betul lah, nak buat fisheries, nak buat pertanian, nak buat livestock, nak buat forestry perlukan air, betul tak? So it takes roughly 1,500 liters of water to produce a kilogram of wheat. And about 16,000 liters to produce a kilogram of beef. Yelah, nak basuh kandang ternakan lagi, nak bagi kambing-kambing, lembu, binatang ternakan minum lagi, betul tak? So in 2050 we will need twice as much as twice as much of water lah. Perlu banyakkan lagi lah. So the water stress, kalau you tengok dekat diagram sebelah kanan tu, the water stress will increase in many agricultural areas by 2025 due to the growing water usage and higher temperature. You tengok yang kawasan merah-merah tu, yang kawasan merah-merah tu, semua dah higher, water stress condition is higher. So, last but not least, the causes of the food security is due to the troubled farmers. So, in the developed countries, less than 2% of the people grow crops or breed animals for food. Maksudnya dah tak ramai dah orang menternak binatang ni. Binatang untuk dimakan lah. So, fewer and fewer people are choosing farming as an occupation. Sebab itulah kita perlu adanya skill development tadi kan, yang ada 4 isu yang kita kena highlight tu kan, untuk kita enhance our food security adalah one of it is the skill development. Sebab populasi semakin lama semakin akan berlakunya populasi yang berumur. Jadinya peneraju generasi yang lama-lama ni adalah budak-budak muda sekarang. So orang-orang muda kita sekarang kurang exposure tentang agriculture, and then dari segi skill pun kurang. Jadinya berlakulah fewer people are choosing farming as an occupation. So meanwhile the food prices are rising. Arable land continues to be lost to sprawl, and soil is being degraded by over farming. Sebab kita tak ada skill, kita tak ada teknologi, kita tak ada knowledge macam mana nak jalankan industri agriculture kita dengan cara yang betul. So lambat laun kita akan jadi kekurangan supply bahan mentah lah, bahan makanan, and then berlakunya arable land continues to be lost due to sprawl and soil become degraded. Maksudnya bila kita tak ada ilmu macam mana kita nak kerjakan sebidang tanah tu kan, so ia akan mendatangkan impact in terms of food insecurity. Maksudnya kita kuranglah bekalan makanan. The food availability tu, the food access and also the food utilization tadi tu jadi unachievable. In simple way kita kata the food stability is unlikely to be achievable in practice lah kalau kita tak mengambil tindakan serta merta dalam dalam highlight the 4 issues in the previous subtopic. So, what makes ensuring food security is so complex? So, kita tengok India. So, the agricultural sector for 18% of the economy's output and 47% of its workforce. Tengok 18% agricultural sector sangat menyumbang kepada kerajaan India lah, dan 47% adalah labour force sahaja. So, India is the second biggest producer of fruits and vegetables in the world. Yelah, kita dapat bawang pun daripada sana, betul tak? Dapat 400 pun daripada sana. Yet, according to the Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, this is under United Nations, some 194 million Indians are undernourished. Maksudnya tak cukup nutrition lah. The largest number of hungry people in any single country. So kita dah menjawab dah soalan. Rupanya India merupakan country yang tertinggi lah, yang orang kata ada hunger kan, hunger cases, poverty hunger. So an estimated 15.2% of the population of India are too malnourished to lead a normal life. A third of the world's malnourished children live in India. Ramai sangat ramai. Yelah, sebab India pun besar, betul tak? Kalau you tengok map, negara India pun besar, population dia pun besar. So, addressing the problem of hunger and malnourishment in an economy such as India, it requires improvement in the productivity of the agricultural sector. So, particularly the smallholder farm. So, saya tak nak cakap banyak lah. Kalau you tengok Hindustan ke, you tengok cerita Tamil movie ke, dia mesti ada berlakunya konflik kan dekat dia punya, orang kata apa, jangan kata dia punya district level, dia punya local level pun ada dia punya isu dia sendiri. So saya tak nak cerita lah kan. So rural and farming communities typically experience a higher incidence of poverty and hunger. Saya tak ingat lah satu movie tu macam mana, tapi dia macam ni, sistem dia macam ni dia jual ayam kan. Toke pengeluar ayam, yang ternak ayam, dia ada ejen-ejen dia. So setiap ejen-ejen ni dia pasang pula kaki dia. So mungkin daripada ternakan ayam tu dapat banyak, so daripada penternak, supplier turun ke ejen-ejen, turun ke kaki-kaki ni, jadi sikit. So kat situlah kita katakan dengan the smallholder farms tu actually ada yang kadang-kadang terpaksa, orang kata apa, kena rasuah polis, kena bayar tu, kena bayar ni. So malas nak cerita tentang the political that happens in the, orang kata apa, the agricultural sector ni. Banyak lah. You nak tengok, you boleh tengok dekat Tamil movie, in Hindustan movie, dia ada tunjuk lah. So agriculture must also be sustainable. So the sector accounts for this sector lah. In India, 30% of the greenhouse gas emission and 70% of fresh water withdrawal. So the attention has to be paid to energy and water use is farming. So again kegunaan sumber tenaga, electricity, and then kegunaan, orang kata apa, air tu sendiri sangatlah makan kos kan, makan kos yang sangat banyak, especially dalam industri farming kan, pertanian tu. Tengok kalau dekat India 30% sahaja dah menyumbang ke greenhouse gas emission and 70% of fresh water withdrawals. Fresh water ni sangat penting tau sebenarnya. So waste is also a problem. Bahan-bahan buangan tu kan is also an issue. With an estimated of 1/3 of food consumption, some is valued 750 billion lost. Banyak sangat banyak. So setiap kali kalau you makan tu, janganlah membazir kan. Janganlah membazir. Macam beras cap rambutan. Dia kata apa? Setitik peluh petani sama dengan sebutir beras. Tu beras cap rambutan ke beras jasmin? Saya pun tak ingat. So you kena ingatlah kan. Kenapa food security ni sangat kompleks. Kadang-kadang manusia itu sendiri yang mengomplekskan, yang membuatkan orang kata apa, food security tu kompleks. Datang daripada kita juga. Dia takkan terjadi, takkan terjadi secara semula jadi. Dia mesti ada the causing factor ataupun a party that triggered towards the food security become more complex. So again, while like us sekarang macam pandemic 19 ni kan, again lah saya nak cakap, the food supply is disrupted, and then the most basic economic pun ada problem. So the affordability for us to achieve the food security is become more complex lah day to day. And due to the lack of supply ataupun the scarcity is accompanied by the high demand. Betul lah, sebab sekarang pun makin, kita contoh macam saya pernah bagi contoh sebelum ni kan, bawang kan. Kita orang Malaysia ni susah kalau tak makan bawang. And then bawang ni pergi mana-mana mesti ada bawang. Masaklah masakan apa. Kalau tak ada bawang bukan masakan lah namanya. Kan. Bawang ni India, Pakistan, China. So bila berlakunya banjir, supply bawang jadi berkurangan. Tapi demand tinggi. Itu yang naik harga. Itu yang macam negara India bergaduh-gaduh dengan Pakistan. Dah lah bergaduh pasal, masih lagi bergaduh tentang sempadan. Bergaduh pula pasal bawang. Macam-macam lah kan. So benda-benda jadi macam ni, dia boleh triggered lah. Dia triggered triggered a country in a crisis due to the pandemic and also due to the orang kata apa tadi lah yang macam saya sebut sebelum ni, natural disasters tu, climate constraint. So this is why the food security is this is why maintaining the food security is complex, and this is why the food insecurity can occur.